Whilst working in daycares and nurseries while I was pregnant through an agency, I went to all sorts of different daycares and nurseries all over London because I was with an agency. I saw lots of not very pleasant things, let's say. First of all, start off with one of the nurseries. The kitchen was horrendous. It just smelled like moss. There was such like a damp, like a seaweedy, mossy smell coming from there. You know when when you wash clothes and you forget to hang it and you leave it for days, and that stench that comes out of clothes, wet clothes, that's the smell that came from the kitchen. That was horrific. I don't even know how they passed any inspection, anything, and I did ended up making a complaint about them to Ofsted and to my agency and all of that. That's already done. And in general, the treatment of the children was just not nice. You can just tell that the staff were just there for just to get paid, which they were, but still, like, you're taking care of other people's children, like they're innocent babies, toddlers. They just didn't care. They had no compassion, and they would yell at these toddlers. They would yell at them. They're babies, like literally 1 year old, 9 months, 10 months old. They would yell at them, and they would be like, you're being a baby, you're being cringy, like you're being whining. They would literally use the word cringe to a baby. They would also, like, the staff would like sit around and they would bitch about the babies and children. They would say, oh, yesterday so and so child did this and he did that. They're children, like they're supposed to do that. They're toddlers, for God's sake. And they would like publicly name and shame toddlers who still use their dummies because they were trying to like wean them out. And they would announce it to the whole. I know it's like they're too young to be embarrassed, but still, don't embarrass kids like that. Don't start by making them feel uncomfortable, insecure. They're still like 1 year olds, 2 year olds. So what if they use a dummy? It's not the end of the world. And they would literally be like, oh, I can't believe it. They would, for example, I'm just going to use a fake name, imagine James. They would come, like a staff would come into the room and they would see like James with like a dummy in his mouth, and then they'd be like, oh my god, is James still there with a dummy in his mouth? They would like say it out loud, and they'd be like, ugh, I can't believe you're still using that. And they'll say it out loud in front of everybody, in front of all the other staff, and then the child would be like so embarrassed, face would be flushed. Even though that they're that young, they would still feel embarrassed. They would feel the effect of having it publicly announced. And this is another example. Some children love to have like a scarf or a sweater that their mother wore. This is so sweet. So the mum would like give them a piece of clothing on the day when they drop them off, and then the children would hold on to that piece of clothing when they go to take a nap. So after lunch they always had naps. And this one boy would always bring in like a cardigan or a jumper or a scarf, something. His mum would give him something every single day, and he would snuggle up with it and he would sleep with that. And when the parents were handing that to him that day, the staff obviously all nice and smiley. They say, oh, nice, oh, today he's got a scarf. But then as soon as they leave, when it's like time for him to take a nap, and he's crying for his scarf that his mum gave because he puts it away until it's nap time, they all started making fun of him. The staff, imagine, he's literally a 2-year-old boy, a baby, and they were making fun of him like, oh my gosh, you need mummy's scarf to go to sleep. You're such a baby. To a baby. That is a baby. Friggin' baby. Like, what do you think? Like, is he like 32 years old? No, he's 2 years old. And they were making fun of him, saying, oh, you're such a baby. You can't sleep without mummy's scarf. And I was just like, what the hell are you guys doing? And I remember I actually said it to them. I remember saying, what's wrong with that? He's only 2. He misses his mum. He's only a child. And they were like, oh, no, we're trying to make him more independent. Like, no. Next thing they'll be like, oh, we're trying to get James to find a job. I'm just using a fake name. James to go and find a job because he should be more mature, even though he's only 2. Like, it was literally that ridiculous. They'll make fun of the kids. They'll laugh at them. They just genuinely didn't care about the kids. I can just tell. And then obviously some of the kids, like, they really actually all the kids miss their parents. So throughout the day, sometimes they'll remember their parents and then they'll start crying. And when they cry, this is usually in the afternoon time, just after their nap or just before their nap. They'll be crying a lot, which is like normal. They would say stuff like, stop your whinging, stop your whining, why are you crying, you're such a baby. Like, they will say it to their faces, and they would like roll their eyes at them, and they would just like, they'll do this, like they would kiss their teeth at them. The staff, imagine, this is to toddlers and babies, they're like, why are you so whingy for? Why are you whining today? What is wrong with you? Your mom's gonna come back today in the evening. You're gonna see her again. Like, why are you doing? And they would literally talk to a child, and I'll just be like, of course the child misses mother. It's 2 years old. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And the way they would react to the tiniest mistakes that the kids did, you would think that the child went and killed someone. Like, the tiny little mistake, they dropped a paintbrush on the floor, there's paint on the floor. The reaction that they would give would be like massive. They would be like, oh my god, what did you do? Why did you do that? And I'll just be like, calm down. You just take a bit of tissue, wet, and just wipe it. It's gone. You don't need to react that big. They're little children. They don't know it, and they're like, no, you're 2 years old now. Your fine motor skills should be good. You should know how to hold a paintbrush. You should know you shouldn't drop this on the floor. They would say crap like that. And with food, when it comes to holding cutlery, they'll make fun of the kids. They'll say, you're not even holding a spoon properly. Look at you. You're almost 3 years old. Next year, you might even start school and you still don't even know how to hold a fork properly or a spoon properly. They'll start making fun of kids as well. And I just couldn't imagine what kind of person gets into their head that it's okay for them to make fun of the kids. Once they've finished making fun of the kids to their face, they will then gather, like, because the staff, they do a little huddle every now and then. They will, like, because the kids to staff ratio has to be even, so they would stand in front of the doorway so that they're not out of the room, but they're still in the doorway. So all the staff would stand in the doorway at the same time of each room, and then they would like talk to each other from the rooms, because the nurseries were not that big. The doors were like right next to each other, like baby room, toddler room 1, toddler room 2, and then every now and then they were all like huddled together like that outside the doorway, and they'd be like, oh my god, today you see James is whining. Like, they would actually, by the way, the name that I'm using, James, that's a completely fake name. Like, I did not, like, that's just the name that I'm using for now. So don't be like, oh my gosh, you're not about kid. No, this is a fake name. And yeah, they would huddle, and then they would also bitch about the kids as well. And they would bitch about the parents. Oh my god. I spoke about this many times before as well, but they would literally judge what the parents are wearing. They would judge what car they drove. They'd be like, oh my god, I'm going to use James again. I'd be like, did you see James' mom today? She rode a Range Rover today. Yesterday she had a Benz car. Now she has a different car. They must be so rich and wealthy. And then they would, whenever the kids they would have a drop off, and then when they collect them, they would try and sweet talk to the parents to find out where they work. And then once they figure out where the parents work, they will then again have a huddle where they figure out how much the average salary is. They have so many conversations like this as well. I spoke about this before. One of the kids, his dad was a nightclub owner. So the nightclub is in central London. He's the owner of a nightclub in central London. So obviously he must be wealthy. Oh, alhamdulillah, my toddler's sneezing. And so all you hear is the staff always talking about this one boy's dad, saying, oh my god, his dad is so rich, he owns a nightclub, and imagine how much money he'd be making. Oh my god, no wonder the kid comes in designer clothes every day. Like, they would literally bitch about the parents as well. Oh my god.